Ransomware. Was this my fault? Was this Asustor's fault? I don't know. Let's take you back to the beginning of this saga here. So, rewind the clocks far, far, far back, and at the time, this was my daily driver, this beloved, I still love this thing so much. This is my X1 Carbon 6th generation i7 processor, 16 gigs of RAM, and a 1 terabyte SSD. Now the hard drive that was in it, this is way back in 2020, I think 2020, the hard drive failed. And this, at the time, was the only hard drive where I had my files. I lost a lot of data. Made a video about it. Very bummed. Had projects I was working on, things I was very excited about, and they were all gone. Like that's, well, what could you do? Hardware fails sometimes. So fortunately for me, the company Asustor reached out to me. They would send me their Asustor Drivestor 4, and Seagate sent 16 terabytes of their FireCuda, 4 terabytes, 16 terabytes total for the Asustor. And the thing was, they sent this to me with the only requirement is that I make a video and an honest review of what I thought of it. It was awesome because I had a backup solution. And between that and then also jumping onto a offsite backup solution, I was sitting really, really pretty. But then tragedy strikes. Boom, the ransomware. I was in the middle of my workday when I realized that something was up and tried logging in, and then I was presented with that splash screen that we all love. So in a bit of a panic, the first thing I did is unplug the NAS, thinking in my head that, that little chip inside there is probably going to be digging through all the files, encrypting each file one by one. But sometimes you can luck out, and if you unplug it fast enough, it hasn't gotten to all the files yet. Unfortunately, that had been the case. It had gotten all the files on the NAS. I took out each drive, mounted to my desktop here, and tried, finding files and renaming things, and it was having trouble even just mounting, to be honest. It was a mess. And I just kind of looked at my offsite backup and what I believed was on the NAS, and I decided there's probably no way to restore these files. And unfortunately, I did lose some vacation photos that I had backed up there, but not backed up there yet, which is kind of on me. I really need to automate this because of human error. Now, there was a subreddit that blew up on Asustor's subreddit. And this is the thing. I do not want to throw Asustor under the bus, but I've run lots of home servers and have never been hit by ransomware. And all those other people had very similar setups. Asustor Drivestor 4, and then using the remote services. Now, the remote services are like a proprietary free service that lets you, tunnel into your network safely. And I believe, based on what I read, well, I'll link the subreddit below, but I think that's what happened. I think there was a breach somewhere on their end or in that connecting end, and they got in. I don't think I set anything up wrong. My takeaway from this is if you're really concerned about the security of your files, do not use their remote login stuff. In fact, right now I'm trying to figure out the best way to set up a VPN type login system so that I can securely access my home network without actually opening my network to the open internet, safely behind my hardware firewall. Now's the part where I do the thing where I'm like, follow, like, and stuff. Also, Patreons, because words out of mouth. One, again, I still very much like the NAS that I got from Asustor. I still recommend it as a good NAS. Like, if I just ran it in the default settings with no external functions, I don't think I would have been binged. But also, make sure you have an offsite backup. That's really, only having a backup at the house is not very responsible. Let's be real. You know, it's a 3-2-1. You know, you have three, you have two, you have two, you have one, you have one, you have zero. I recommend offsite backup like Open Drive and your NAS. So that is the saga of my hacked NAS and what I'm going to do moving forward. And hope you learned something. I know I did.